to taking a test drive Thursdays now. We're a little late on this one, but I've been sitting on this test drive video for a long time. I can never get this video done in time. So finally, we're getting our first test drive of the year, 2025. We are taking a test drive of Le Beau, the original Le Beau from Jean-Paul Gaultier. Now, this has a recipe for a good hating, right? Good old Robes 08 bashing. Stop. Oh. Right, we got BISCH in here. We got some BISCH, and we have Jean-Paul Gaultier TikTok trend, kind of fragrance here. So it's one of those that you would think that the Robes 08 channel is going to just give it a good bashing. Sure. But give me a sec, right? I kind of have like these fragrances that are a little bit of a guilty pleasure, and I think this is one of those that slots right in. So, have a little patience with me. Let's delve into this one and see where I go with this one and why I do like it. Now, as you can see here, it does have a little bit of a dent in it. It is a test drive where, of course, I'm going to be wearing it extensively, but this is not all me. I actually got this split back in 2000. I think it was brand new release 2019. Weird that I've split a Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance. Usually I just buy those as is, but I did get this in a bulk split. I think I split like 3-4 bottles with somebody that wanted the other portions, and this was one of those that we agreed upon. So this is not all me. I think I got 50%. So I wore this for several days, and I'm going to let you know what I think about it. This is as close as a full-fledged fragrance review that you're going to get on my channel these days. Yeah, let's get into it. Before we get into anything, though, if you're new here, welcome to the Robes 08 channel. I'm your host, Mark. Smash that subscribe button. Smash the like button. I will talk about older fragrances like these that I just never did. I did an unboxing or a haul video. I think this was with a whole bunch of Christian Diors that I wanted. I wanted a Dior Vetiver from their Privé line. Some guy had it, and I think it was Udis Bahana as well. So you're going to see test drive of those shortly on the channel. They are sitting on the desk waiting for it. And this gentleman also wanted this. And I was like, yeah, I'll split that. It's brand new. Why not? But I just never gave it its, in that video, I talked about it for like 30 seconds, like the intro. That's it. So if you're new here, yeah, I talk about older fragrances like this, and I'm going to go in depth. Probably much more in depth than a lot of fragrance reviewers on YouTube about a very simple scent profile, but we're going to get into it. But if you're new to test drive, this is how it works. This is where I wear a fragrance for several days, and that is your cutoff. Like if I can't go any more, I can't go any less, and I try to give it 7 different types of environments. So a lot of these kind of sit on the desk, collect dust. When I just kind of feel like wearing it. I'll go for a walk, I'll wear it. I'll go, I'll dress up somewhere, I'll go out and I'll wear it. I'll wear it once in the comforts of my own home, right? Once in the heat. I love, there's different temperatures that I like to test things out. Heat, high heat, mostly summer. I want to try it in the fall. Where there's some rain, or spring where there's some rain. I like overcast because a lot of fragrances, you'll see a lot of personality in the overcast season. And then you got the cooler months that are these Canadian winters, and see how it does, especially with longevity and projection, if people can actually smell the fragrance in the cooler environment. So this gives you a much better, much more comprehensive video than you're used to my channel. Unboxings are like, just the most simple reviews or videos on my channel. Unboxing, I give you what I think about in the next 5-10 minutes that I'm talking to you. Then there's the sampling samples. Depending on the sample, no sample is going to give me 7 days worth of testing. So this is more comprehensive. I used to do full-fledged reviews where I used to almost double or triple the wearings. So much work though. I haven't done those in years, and a lot of people do miss those because I wear them as signature scents, and that's where you get the magic on a lot of fragrances. But let's start delving into this one. Very simple scent profile, but hopefully I'll give you a little bit of knowledge off the fragrance. This has been here for a while in our community, so let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on this one. Release date was back in 2019, so it's not that old, honestly. Nose, two noses, not just Mr. Bish. Yes, Quentin is the one of the pens in here, but also he has an All-Star Perfumier right beside him, Sonia Constant. Sonia's good, real good. Obviously, he's going to be the big pen for the TONKA bomb, where we're going to talk about that in here. So in the note breakdown, you have that typical 3-note breakdown. Top, we got bergamot. Mid, we got coconut. Base, we got TONKA. So a lot of brands have been doing this in the past several years now. Forget, note breakdowns are marketing, if you didn't know. The brands don't have to announce or tell you exactly what's in here. They can pick and choose. They can even just, it's just basically trying to give you a concept of what's inside the fragrance. So it could be missing several components, materials in the note breakdown. I do feel other things than just bergamot, coconut, and tonka, and we're going to get into that. But this is a heavy tonka-based fragrance. However, I like that it's light-handed by BISCH. That's probably one of the only reasons why I really like this, because of the strokes of the tonka bean. It's a very simple tonka that he uses. It doesn't have any real almond quality. It has no cherry quality. It's a little creamy, hardly any powdery aspects. Vanillic, yeah, but it's a very simple vanilla. And that's his tonka bomb that he uses in like Le Male elixir and stuff like that. Not the exact tonka here. I don't know what happened. He kind of fell into some ooze, his tonka, and just made it like a bomb. Not so much here. So the major notes to my nose would have to be the three that are listed: coconut, tonka, and bergamot. Bergamot you're going to see in this review, is kind of like an afterthought. Coconut obviously is a major pillar, and the tonka. So this is where the Le Beau collection started. Right, there it is. There they are in their in their glory. Now this one started back in 2019. It did use the bottle of this one. I took out my Essence de Parfum. This was a Le Male release. My juice color turned colors here. But this is Essence de Parfum. Not to be confused, it's not part of this collection. It's part of Le Male. That's the first time we saw this torso. And then they went to this. And then this just went away. I kind of like they should bring this back. This is a lot better than that. Jean-Paul Gaultier, if you're watching, I'd like to see that on the Le Beau flankers now, as the neck piece, we'll say. So that's where this line started. So, does this sound any good? You've got multiple flankers, so it sold well, but is it any good? So let's remind myself of the introduction first, and then we'll get into the scent profile. But I kind of know this fragrance quite a bit. The atomizer is okay. Yeah, she's sweet. Okay, so the opening of Le Beau. The opening of Le Beau, you'll feel what this one will bring to the table right off the bat. It starts us off with a good punch of youthful brightness and sweetness. So it takes the familiar, Invictus and all this, but less bubblegummy, right? It was quite common back in the day that they would match. Like, it kind of started with Le Male Pie and stuff like that, where they matched like a freshness, and you could say an ambroxan like freshness with some sweetness, and kind of mesh it together. And then some brands would put like a citrus or something like that. Here, obviously, they made it a little different. BISCH and Constant made it their own here. So it's still in that category of fresh sweet. However, the one thing that really makes me gravitate towards this is it's not bubble gummy. And the freshness is more unique, which is something I appreciate. So both ends of this fragrance, it works well for me personally. So it starts us off with this citrus. It's a bergamot. The bergamot is not authentic at all. It's more candied, honestly. And it lends some brightness to the scent, but it's quite short-lived. So once you get hit with that, you eventually get the bulk of the scent, which is the tonka coconut pear. The tonka, I'd say, if you're talking about percentage and how much tonka am I getting here, it's 85% of the scent profile, maybe even higher than that. That is your bulk. It's a rather thin fragrance, honestly. There's not much really going on. It is doing most of the heavy lifting. And it's not a great Tonka. It's not. But it's a tolerable one. Now, that might be something that you don't want your fragrance reviewer to say. It's the coconut and Tonka combo here work well together. It's a good pairing, as neither really show much authenticity. And I think if you started pairing coconut and Tonka bean together and show authenticity on both, I don't think it would work. And that's where I think like some of these fragrances, and I mean like some of these teen-like fragrances, just work. Because the volume was turned down, the obnoxious appeal of like an Invictus and stuff like kind of is not there. It's just flattened. And yeah, you could say, oh, quality out the window, synthetically, yeah, all that stuff, right? As a true blue fragrance reviewer that likes artistic side of things, is this artistic? There is some artistic side to it, but it's not the most artistic thing, and it's not the most amazing thing that I've smelt in my journey. But there's something to be said about having a perfume that is built like this for mass consumption. So you get all three notes immediately, honestly. So you just get hit with citrus, bang, coconut, bang, and then Tonka, boom. Even though the bergamot is gone after you blink. The Tonka itself is sweet, but again, not bubblegummy. It's the BISCH special, but it does not have that boom or boombastic feel that his Tonka has now that he puts in 1 million and Le Male and whatever else he uses. He pens for, like everybody designer basically has the same Tonka back end. It doesn't have those boom properties that he put in his recent offering. So it's milder, and honestly for me, that's a good thing. I don't know what happened. Like he injected some steroids in his Tonka lately and it's just absolute garbage. Here, it's tastefully done. Yeah, it's not the most appealing. Yeah, it really doesn't have much character to it, but it works. It just works in here. Now, there is some mild woody facets here that I felt in the opening, but again, mild and in the background. I'm very nondescript, so I can't even say sandalwood, cedar. Is it guaiac wood? What is it? No, it's obviously it's nondescript woods, but there's a little bit of a woody facet in here. The coconut here is like a coconut water effect that goes on top. Like it really pairs with the Tonka well. It's really mild. So don't think of suntan lotion. It does have some creamy aspects towards the end here, but don't think that. It's very mild, so don't think overly tropical either. It's missing, I think, a floral component like ylang ylang perhaps, or something like a yellow floral or a white floral that would make it more suntan lotion-ish. That's not here, and I think it's missing that component to make it that. So it really is a thin veil on top of the, right behind the Tonka, as the Tonka is your major facet here doing the heavy lifting. So in my opinion, could this fragrance use more coconut here? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I feel like it was much more toned down than a lot of fragrance reviewers kind of let up. If I had an issue with this, I'd say more of that, less Tonka. The Tonka here is, even though it's not boombastic, it is overpowering. It is, again, like I said, 85% of the fragrance. It's all that. The coconut isn't overly tropical here. It's almost a veil over the Tonka bean. So the opening shows freshness. It shows synthetic components, of course, creamy aspects a bit, but fairly sweet as well. You are going to get, of course, a little bit of woody aspects. Now, there is something that I found out more into the mid of this fragrance, and this is where the magic happens when you wear a fragrance more than once for a YouTube video, which is something that's not listed in the fragrance notes or anything like that. In the mid, I started to sense a little caramelic hue, like something ambery coming in. Think almost like a caramel lavender-like note. This is extremely minor, but does change the nature of the whole fragrance to just simply a white tonka vanillic coconutty thing, which is just white, right? It's not giving you any color. There's like a slight brown hue here with that caramelic hue. There's a little color, a little pinch of that here. I was thinking perhaps a slight woody amber touch here, maybe. But there is something in this mid that gives it a little bit of color. Yeah, a little bit of, you know, a little bit of je ne sais quoi, which would, I think without it, it would be very much plain. You need these kind of facets to keep me a little entertained. So at this portion of the scent, the tonka is clearly the front runner here with the coconut water going a little creamy. Some may say tropical, some may say lactonic. I don't think I'd go that far, but it can make you think of that. So you're not off too much here. It reminds me, honestly, if you're thinking of something, I'm thinking more of a coconut-based body butter. Simple, creamy, vanillic, has a little bit of that fake coconut hue, a little bit of a lactonic piece from the flesh. That's where I'm going with this, kind of like a coconut-based body butter with a little vanillic touch. The tonka continues to be the star of the show, but again, don't expect fireworks here with the tonka. So in the back end, again, you're not, you know, it's a very linear scent. You know, there's not really much complexity. There's not much movement here. Just a simple designer release. Overall, let's return back to the strip and then I'm going to throw it at the camera. Overall, it's a simple scent. It's a simple scent profile. If you look at this under the scope of a technical fragrance reviewer like myself, this is a teen scent, a not so good scent, a simple scent, a bish meh, right? That's what you're thinking. But as a technical fragrance reviewer, I see all of these things. However, I do have, you know, I'm not like a robot here. It's just like, it's got to be technical. It has to smell like poop. No. You know, a lot of people, you know, online say like, oh, he likes funky ouds and stuff like that. No. I have more of a palate than that. But I do like sweet scents, right? Le Male, that's where I started. I still like wearing Le Male from time to time. Now, what do I like about this fragrance? I appreciate the simple aspects of it. And it's one of those designers that I feel like it's a guilty pleasure for me. A vacation kind of simple scent profile, period. And it's missing a lot of the components that would make me think poop, right? Like make me think of, oh, this is a bish bomb. Like if that tonka was ramped even higher, yeah, no, I'd throw it in the garbage. But I think it was tastefully done. Now let's go seasons, day, night, versatility, performance, and then my final thoughts at the end of the day. Seasons. This one is a spring, summer, fall fragrance. I really think there's some versatility here. A lot of people are going to say this is great for summer. I don't know. These fresh, sweet fragrances, I don't want to wear them in the dead heat, honestly. I'm more appreciative of thinner scents, even thinner than this. Take away the sweetness, like things like Mount Fresh, which is just a minty fragrance, but it's so transparent and watery. Those are things I'm looking for, gravitate towards. Yeah, this is, you know, a little too sweet for the high heat, but, and I'm going to give you that in the final thoughts of when I would actually wear this, but spring, summer, fall, day or night, daily, but can be a summer night scent. I really see this as something that you'd go to a party out on the beach or something like that. Summer nights, boom, perfect. Versatility high. I can see this as not a Swiss Army knife of fragrance, but I could see this being worn a lot by certain people. So there is some high versatility here. It's not just a stigma of this is just the summer flankers of Le Male. No, this one can be worn for a lot of different reasons. I think it's a little too playful to dress it up, but there's no reason you can't wear it dressed up at the beach or something like that, right? You're wedding on the beach or something like that. Why not? Performance. Longevity is 5 to 7 hours. Ooh, okay. And this is probably why this one probably doesn't get as much love with the teeny boppers. They're looking for more sugar. They're looking for more performance. I'm one of those that this is perfectly good. 5 to 7 hours. Projection is average. Don't expect too much performance here. So this one right here's performance goes kind of a little bit on the weak sauce, but 5 to 7 hours is pretty good. It's not my 7 to 9, but it's there. So my final thoughts. So throughout my 7 days of testing of Le Beau, it wasn't an interesting one. I never went in like, oh, this is another, like, it's been a while since I've worn it. Especially, you know, like this is, you know, I really enjoy just having time with one of my fragrances and just kind of life of a fragrance reviewer. It's always like through the trough, brand new, unbox, go, 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 right? Unbox something every day. You know, you're doing sampling, you're doing this, you're doing that. You don't really have time to just sit down with the scent for several days because then the YouTube channel is going to just go, there's no content, right? But there's something to be said about just taking a bulk of time with one particular fragrance and just delve into it. It was an interesting 7 days. I always say that about a test drive. I always say like, oh, it was fun. I love it. I'm a fragrance head at heart. Doesn't matter if it's a $10 fragrance to a $1,000 fragrance. Lately, I've smelled some pretty bad BISCHs, but this ain't that bad. Look, this isn't going to win any awards for olfactory complexity or even being authentic to the T. BISCH does get ran over the rails with me because, again, right here, it actually proves exactly how I feel about BISCH is that it's right in front of our faces. The back end of this fragrance is just very simple. A lot of people are going to get bored with this kind of thing, but there are some scents out there that can just be liked. For me, this is one of those playful, perhaps Hawaiian shirt, summer night, beach party vibe kind of scent profile. One of those that I may bring to a vacation somewhere and I'll be wearing it as my casual wear fragrance that I don't really care about, right? This is one of those, right? I'll have some higher up type scents, maybe some that are more dressed up, maybe some that are more artistic, but this is one of those that I don't have to think about it. You know, people hate how soft this one is. I actually prefer it. As the stronger TONKA BISCH bombs, just I can't do. So this one right here, you know what? Kind of got a solid fragrance review from me. I'm done with it now. It's time for you to hit us up in the comments below. What do you think of Le Beau, the start of a beautiful line? I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Good, bad, and the ugly. Please let us know what you think. And finally, you know, ever since I just did the unboxing of this, finally getting to an actual meaty fragrance review on this. Maybe perhaps 5 years too late. But as always, a great report fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.